Namaste guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea for those of you who haven't already been here. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you for connecting with me in this space. Thank you for those of you guys who have watched my videos throughout me trying to start a YouTube channel for the last 3 years. Thank you for still being here and watching this content that I'm trying to create. I wanted to drop in with you guys today and talk to you guys about a story, a little story time. I'm a storyteller. I truly believe that by sharing our stories, not only can we help heal others and help heal with others, but we can also help heal ourselves. I know that every time that I've been able to share my story and I've felt seen and I've felt heard in that story, it's created this space within me that just feels so good, that feels like I'm healing something, that I'm moving through something. And often when I share a story with someone, they can usually reflect back an experience that maybe they've had that is similar, or something that may have been triggered, an experience that may have been triggered, or a story that may have been triggered by something that I said, and then they share a story with me, and it just becomes this really beautiful web of sharing stories and getting deeper and connecting deeper with people. And one of my intentions for really my life is just to connect deeply with people and to connect even deeper and have moments of intimacy with people that go beyond words, that go beyond this screen, this social media thing that we're here on, that is a part of a lot of our everyday lives, and really just learning how we can use social media as a tool to share our stories and to open up. And so that's kind of where my channel's going, is sharing more of my stories and being the storyteller that I am, and sharing my life with you guys, because I think that I live a pretty unique life. I mean, maybe that's just me being dramatic and thinking that, I'm something other than this little speck of dust in the universe, but that's where I feel creative and that's where I feel good. And so now I'm in a space where I know exactly what I want to do with my YouTube. I want to share my story. I want to share other people's stories. I want to just create content just to create content and just to have fun. I think that one of the hardest things for me trying to just create a YouTube channel over the last few years was my own judgment and my own oh, it needs to be perfect, and oh, I need to share this, or I need to have a brand that's like this, or I don't know, just overthinking so many things. A lot of creatives that I've talked to struggle with. We struggle with our creative nature. We struggle with bringing forth our creations. Something that I already do on my Instagram, and a way that I've already built some of my platforms, is just sharing my life and the seasons that I'm in. And so, of course, YouTube is just going to be another extension of that. The story that I'm sharing with you guys today is what it's been like and what it's like to shift from serving tables to serving my purpose, and how that's looking in my life, and all of the fears and all of the things that are coming up with it. We're gonna spill the tea. So I've got my tea here. Grab a cup of tea, because this is gonna be a little story time on how I'm going from serving tables to serving my purpose. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, stay tuned. Maybe even hit that little subscribe button. Join the tribe that we're creating here of just people that are sharing stories, people that want to hear other people's stories, and just having fun watching content being made, I guess. I don't really know. Hello, hi. Okay, fun fact, this is one of my favorite cups. Let's see, I got it for me and one of my friends a couple of years ago. Maybe if aw, isn't that cute? All right, so I'm just gonna start from the beginning. As all stories have a beginning, middle, and end, here's my beginning. Back in 2012, I got my first job as a hostess, and I was a hostess at Applebee's. It didn't last long, because I'm a millennial and I've got facial piercings and tattoos, and it's corporate America, and they're like, you can't have facial piercings or tattoos, and I was like, bye, I don't know what to tell you, that's the life that I'm living. So went out, ditched that, started living my best life, moved out of my mom's house when I was 17, and I moved to the city. I lived in a small town and moved to the city when I was 17, and I got my second job at Kelly's Brew Pub. So for those of you that live in Albuquerque, Kelly's Brew Pub, Central. I started working there also as a hostess, and I was making $10 an hour, which was amazing for me, because I just went from making 7 something to $10 an hour, and I had just moved out on my own, so that was a whole situation in and of itself. After a few years of working there, I was old enough to get my serving license, and so I started serving at different places, and I have just continuously gotten serving jobs. In between that time, I've also started teaching yoga. I got my certification in 2016, and I've been teaching yoga for about 3, almost 4 years now, and just really dove into like health and wellness, really dove into what it means to take care of yourself, what it means to take care of yourself for your mind, your body, and your spirit, and how all of those interconnect. So that's been an amazing journey, so much fun. I have learned so much, like so much. It's insane. I feel like it was stuff that I was kind of like skeptical about too, because you hear about this stuff like, this crystal helps with feeling anxious, and you're like, you're telling me that a rock that came from the earth is gonna help me when I'm literally starving for breath? Is starving even a word? When I'm reaching for my breath when I'm in the middle of an anxiety attack? Like, I don't think so. But as time progressed and I started using different tools and I started learning how all of it's connected, just mind, body, and spirit, I was just like overwhelmed. For a long time, I felt like I was in 2 different worlds. Like, in one world, I'm learning all of this philosophy, I'm learning all of this really just ancient wisdom, and integrating it and learning how to use it within my own life. And then I was in this other world where I was serving tables, and I was connecting with people on a service level and just high and by, kind of going through the motions at a job. And so the deeper that I started to connect into my yoga journey, the more that I realized that that wasn't something that was going to stick for me forever. As of course, you know, like, serving isn't something that anybody wants to be in forever. And I was also meeting people who had said that when they first started, and they were there 30, 40 years later because they've got degrees, and even though they have degrees, serving was where they were making more money. So I started to learn that just because you have a degree didn't mean that you were going to get out of a service industry. Just because you were doing what maybe you thought was right for you at the time and then having to go back to serving, I didn't understand that. So it really started this journey within myself of, okay, what is my passion? Like, what would I do even if I didn't get paid for it, if I didn't get paid a lot for it? What would I do? So naturally, yoga started to come in, but then all of these other different things started to come in. I started to learn a lot about myself and what it is that I like to do outside of yoga. I learned that I really liked to create art. I really liked to paint. I really liked to decorate houses in my apartment and just decorate little spaces. I really liked to cook really good food and nourishing food. I didn't even know that I liked fruits and vegetables until a few years ago. And so I really just like gotten to know myself over the years through my yoga journey and through my spiritual journey, and all of that has really just made it even more clear that I wanted to be doing something that I felt passionate about. If I was going to be stuck doing something for the rest of my life, I wanted it to be something that I was passionate about. So all of these fears came up with that. Like, I probably realized that like 2 or 3 years ago, and since then it's been this slow unraveling of going back and serving tables, and then like going into spaces where I'm just teaching yoga and being like, wow, like this feels so much better. So it's been a lot of kind of tipping and turning and like dipping my feet into fully going there and then taking myself back out. And so I've realized and I've watched myself go in and out of this for the last few years. And I really just held space for it. Like, I'm not in judgment of it. I'm like, yo, when I need to make some money, serving was where it was at. Like, I was just trying to get some fast cash. Like, as most of us think, right? But the more that I've thought about that and the more that I've started to work through my money mindset, I've noticed that that's scarcity mentality. I'm literally telling the universe, I don't trust that I can make ends meet off of what it is that I'm passionate about, so I'm just gonna get a side job really quick and save up so that I can do that. And I went through that. I went through that for a few years. And the more that I've tuned into what it is that I'm truly passionate about, and the more that I've tuned into what it is that I'm truly trying to do, the more that I've been like, I need to get out of the service industry. Like today, like yesterday. And I was coming up on 7 years of being in the food industry. And to me, I'm super into numerology. So I was like, 7 years, that's a cycle. I need to end this cycle. I need to end this cycle of just doing things out of scarcity. And I've noticed that a lot of us do that. A lot of us go to a job that we don't fully feel like we're connected with, that we don't fully feel alive in, that we feel drained after we get out of it, and we don't want to see anyone. We don't want to talk to anyone. We don't want to create anything. We just want to sit there and scroll through our phones and distract ourselves from the fact that we're literally living in another place. Like working a job, you're basically living there, right? Like living in another place, that feels uncomfortable. And it's hard. It makes you feel disconnected from yourself. It makes you feel disconnected from the world around you. It makes you just feel depleted. Like you're just sucked into this system that's just going and doesn't actually care and isn't actually designed for the human spirit, is what I'm learning. I know, let's unpack that for a second. I need a sip of tea. I've got a cup of tea, I need a sip of it. That was a lot to unpack. That was a lot. We're only 12 minutes in and we just skyrocketed. But the more that I realized that, I've just been like, dude, I need to get out of this. Like I need to. And so the more that I've thought about that, the more that law of attraction, the universe has been bringing into my life people that are reflecting that, people that are already doing that. People that are already living in their dharma, their purpose, that are already living out what it is that they want to do daily and making a living off of it, and just doing that and putting 100% of their energy into that. So the more that I've started to follow those people, the more that I've started to surround myself by those people, the more that I've started to see I can also do this. And a lot of their stories started just like mine, serving tables, trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how they can make ends meet, literally just like doing the most to get to where they want to be. And so as much as I've wanted to try and judge myself for going back to the service industry and trying to make ends meet there and really just moving from a space of scarcity, I've also really been able to heal that part of myself, look at that part of myself and say, okay, where does that stem from? Noticing the root cause of that, holistically healing that, and seeing the root cause of that and saying, okay, how can I choose a different neural pathway? How can I choose a different path? And the only option that I had was to quit my serving job and to just do it, because that's what all the people that I was around had done. They just did it. Some of them started with like $20 in their pocket, moved to another country, sold all their stuff and was like, whatever, let's just do it. And I did that last year. I sold all my stuff. I went to Costa Rica for a few months and I did that. Like I lived in a hostel basically for like 2 weeks, $10 a night at this hostel. And I traveled around different parts of Costa Rica and basically was just living out of my backpack. I had a backpack and a carry-on. Like that's literally all that I had. And it was the most life-changing experience, and it really showed me that it can be done. Then I came back into that scarcity mentality, got a serving job, and it's okay. I learned again, right? The universe just continues to give you lessons for you to learn and to continue to go through until you learn whatever it is that you're ready to learn there. And I feel like I am 100% ready to close that cycle. It's been 7 years. I had this epiphany like literally a couple weeks ago and I was like, I need to quit this job. Like it doesn't matter how long I stay here. It doesn't matter how much money I make. Like I need to be doing something that fully feels me, that I can put 100% of my energy into. So I quit my job. And it's day 3 now of not going to my serving job. Like usually I start the week out and I'm going to my serving job and I feel so light. Like I don't really know what the hell I'm doing or like what's going on next, but I've noticed all of these synchronicities over the last few days and I'm really attracting people that are like, I want to help you. I've been where you are. How can I be of service to you? How can I help you? And those, to me, those little signs or affirmations that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and that I'm going to be guided. I'm just trusting that I'm being guided right now by spirit, by source, by God, whatever you want to call it. There is something greater that is guiding this experience right now, and I'm just learning to trust and surrender into that. So right now I am taking on private clients. I am working one-on-one with women, connecting them back to their bodies, learning how to use the senses as a vehicle and as a tool to connect back to the inner body, to connect to the mind, body, spirit, teaching yoga classes, leading circles, and really just being more of an active influence in my physical community. I've really loved creating awesome spaces like this online, and I'm also really feeling the call to create more physical community, which sounds weird because I feel like I'm about to be making more content than I've ever really created, but I also have more boundaries with social media than I ever have. So that's what's giving me the space to be able to like set my boundary, create my content when I have the energy and when I can, and then slowly developing it, putting it out there, and so that I'm not engaging so much in social media. And I really am just finding a boundary between doing that and also being very present in my physical community and being with everyday real people that are going through these experiences of not feeling connected to their body, feeling anxiety, feeling depression, not knowing what to turn to, and sitting with them and thinking of ways that we can come together and help each other in that experience, and offering different tools that were available to me that I'm making accessible for other people, and just giving them the space to be able to try that on for themselves. If it doesn't resonate with them, fine. If the breathwork that I give you is not something that you want to do, that's okay. It's fine. And it's also really fun to be able to try on new tools that help with mental health, that help with the processes of life. Like if I didn't have yoga right now, you guys, I'd be freaking out. I'd probably already have gotten another serving job because I was just like doing that out of scarcity. And so I noticed that the energy that I was creating in those spaces was scarcity. I got serving jobs because I was afraid that I wouldn't have any money. So I was opening that portal by saying I'm scared and I just need money to survive, rather than letting that go and being like, I'm just gonna follow my dreams and serve people. And so now I'm opening this new space with the energy of, wow, I get to wake up every day and do what it is that I love. I get to wake up every day and teach people these tools that have helped me so much on my journey. I get to create spaces where people can come together and feel seen and feel heard because I know what the importance of that is. What an honor. And there's a totally different energy there. And that is why it's gonna happen, because this is my passion. And there's no other way. And it feels amazing, as scary as it can be sometimes, and if I let myself really go into that dark space, which sometimes you have to, right, in order to be able to fully heal that. When the anxiety comes up, when all of that comes up, I just come back to the fact that it is an honor to be able to share these practices and these ancient tools in this modern age. And it's an honor to be able to go and travel and sit under teachers and learn new ways of being. It's an honor. And I'm grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to be here in this experience. And I hope that you are too. And if you're not, that's okay too, because I've been there. And sometimes it's hard for me to feel grateful for what it is that I have. But I think that we're all learning and we're all co-creating together. And it's really beautiful. And I just love life, man. Like, I'm just in a space where I don't really know what's gonna happen, but it's happening, it's here, and that's where we're going. I also just wanted to end this video really quickly, wrapping it up, just saying that I'm thankful for social media and all of the things that I've been able to create from it. And I'm thankful that I'm creating again and that I'm feeling creative. I haven't felt creative in a while. And sometimes for me, when I share my life, especially things that I do, it feels like this really big death and like transformation for me. Like I'm peeling off this layer because I'm sharing myself with so many people, whoever's watching. And I don't know why, but it just feels like such a death every time. And I'm starting to look at it more of as a rebirth. Like this process that I'm in right now is this rebirth. And it feels so good. Today just happens to be the Scorpio New Moon. I don't know if it'll still be that when I actually drop this video, but yeah, it's a Scorpio New Moon today, so that's kind of why I'm feeling those vibes. But yeah, I'm just gonna share more of my life and share more of what it's like to transition from serving tables to serving my passion. I'm going to Costa Rica next month to help facilitate some yoga classes and some meditations for one of my teachers, Adi Shakti, and I'm so excited to be back in the jungle, sharing that experience with you guys and really just taking you guys along and showing you guys what it's like to be a practitioner of yoga and what it's like to be someone that travels to learn this knowledge and to bring back this ancient knowledge to a modern time and to our Western world and to a culture that really just needs it. Yoga in itself, yoga, the word yoga means to unite, to yoke, to bring together. And that is what I think that this country really needs. And so for me, I'm so excited to be able to go back to Costa Rica to learn under my teacher and to share that experience with you guys and to create from that and to show you guys what that's like. I'm gonna be doing a lot of vlogging at that time. I'm backpacking, so I'm definitely gonna be on the go a lot, and I'm excited to share those vlogs with you guys, share that actual experience with you guys. Last year I didn't really create any content when I was in Costa Rica, but this year I was like, no, I'm ready, I wanna share that. I'm so glad that I opened that space without sharing a lot on social media, because I feel like now I'm in a space where, okay, like I'm ready to just like share this whole experience after I've already kind of experienced Costa Rica before, and really just grounding in that space with you guys and sharing that time with you guys. So thank you guys for being here. If you guys are here till the end of this video and you want to join the tribe, just hit subscribe. I'd love for you to join this really beautiful conscious community that we're creating of people who are sharing stories. If my story influenced something or triggered something, or maybe you're going through this experience in your own life, leave a comment down below, share your story. Like, let's create this space of people that are just sharing their stories and connecting with each other, because I think that it's so beautiful when we can feel that, when we can share that and express that and not feel alone in that experience. There's something so powerful about that. So share your story with me. I'd love to hear it. If you're going through this experience as well, let's go through it together. Let's create a new paradigm where people are actually passionate about what it is that they're doing, and let's do that by embodying it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your time. I was gonna say time here on earth, like so dramatic. Hope that you guys have a good rest of your day, night, whatever time it is. I hope that it's fantastic. Bye guys.